Yo guys, what is up? It is MasterDavros here, coming at you with another Halo Wars 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about the latest Halo Wars 2 campaign DLC titled Operation Spearbreaker. I'm going to be presenting you guys with a spoiler-free review for this campaign DLC, and I'm going to attempt to answer the question, is it worth the $6 price tag? I'm going to be separating the review into 3 main components, and note that I've played through the mini campaign on legendary difficulty, and no, as a quick reminder, there won't be any major spoilers that I'll be talking about, nor any major spoilers within the gameplay presented. Don't worry, I actually consider that. So let's talk about the gameplay first then, shall we? So how did the gameplay within the campaign missions differ to the main campaign? Well, you have a Banished, which are led by a Banished commander who is not present within the main campaign. So in turn, you have to fight new Banished units and watch out for different leader powers. In Mission 1 and 2, the objectives were relatively hard to complete without having to deal with the Banished coming at your ass. So, the leader kept spamming in a horde of enemies from his reasonably well fortified main bases, which would have a few different combos that would stretch your units and your abilities as a tactician. For example, one combination could have a variety of units, air units, vehicle units, anti-infantry, etc. All the variety. Another combination could have some aggressive vehicles, but with support units on top. Less variety, but more of aggressive strategy. You would have to have the best unit combos to take them down. The Banished would be more aggressive than usual, so you'd have to focus on switching between attack and defense because they're really hungry and they're really desperate this time around to destroy your bases and take you out of the game, and you don't quite want that, especially if you play on legendary difficulty. So, the main objectives were new. You didn't have to defend anything or simply destroy bases a bit. You had to complete objectives that made sense in relation to the story, which would slowly lead up to a final confrontation in the campaign and reveal of the Banished plot. You had to focus on these objectives while simultaneously fighting the Banished, reducing their control over the area, and fighting the Sentinels, which have won their own new units within the Sentinel ranks. Pretty cool stuff right there. The missions also had their own unique design and flow. You had no area rehashes from the main campaign, and featured some gameplay surprises in the beginning and the end of these missions. Both missions also end with a fairly large end game fight, which were quite intense. So, let's talk about difficulty real quickly. I played on legendary, like I said. It was fairly challenging, I would say more challenging than quite a lot of the main campaign missions. This is because of the aggressive nature this time around of the leader in terms of aggressive horde attacks on your bases with varying unit types, as well as powerful leader powers. You can be punished and your bases can literally be destroyed for making the wrong strategic decisions. So the difficulty, I would say, is definitely a thumbs up. Quite challenging, but not impossible. So let's move on to the story here. This is probably the most important component of this. Well, one of the most important. So story, the campaign is only 2 missions, so we can't really expect a bombastic ride here, by the way. However, we can hope that the Flood campaign coming this fall, titled Awakening Nightmare, will have these cool twists and be really interesting. Because the campaign, let's talk about the campaign now of Operation Spearbreaker again. It is very easy to understand. It doesn't require any external law. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so it's easy to follow. The pacing of the story is clean. Nothing confusing. The build up to the end game and the reveal of the plot is constant. It does a great job of keeping the story mainly emphasizing the perspective of fighting as the Helljumper ODST squad led by Major Vaughn and other ground troops on the Ark. There is no single involvement from the other UNSC leaders of Spartans, so it kind of is a fresh take on the story, something different for a change, which is always good. So one of the best details of the campaign, one of the best highlights within the story, is showing you the aftermath of the chaotic fight between the Banished and the UNSC on a Halo ring after the end of Halo Wars 2 story. It feels much more dangerous now to be a normal trooper, as the Ark's defense have gone crazy in terms of Sentinel sector. They really want to defend the Ark and they will burn your ass to death, so yeah, they're pretty crazy, these defenses. And also you have some references from the characters in the main campaign, so that's pretty cool in terms of dialogue. So, issues. There are a few issues to the story here. So, the end game of the campaign, although not bad, there was no long-term impact, nor any suggestions of one. The only real impact is shown almost immediately at the start of the mini-campaign, with the Ark having more dangerous defense systems like I already mentioned. And I know it's just a mini campaign, but there weren't any story modes that made me go, oh shit, or whoa, oh wow, this is really interesting. Most of the cool surprises were in the gameplay itself, which is still very cool, but I would have liked to have, you know, those special story moments. But you know, it's a 2-mission mini campaign, so I guess we can let it slide, kind of. Anyway, so let's move on lastly to the characters here. So we are introduced to an ODST squad led by Major Vaughn and Quinn. The ODST squad is titled Boomerang. There are 5 of them, but only 2 of them get real exposure through constant dialogue of one another. The other 3 are just there, and the game doesn't actually even tell you their names. Halo Waypoint does, I think, but the game, which is where it matters, it doesn't tell you their names, I believe. The voice acting throughout the missions is decent, and the dialogue at least gives Quinn and Vaughn some personality, compared to some squad members from another game I won't even mention. But I'm sure you guys can figure that one out. It's not too difficult of a mystery. So the main villain in The Banished was a neat and pleasing addition. I think some of you guys will actually enjoy seeing this villain. However, he had some of these stereotypical lines from these alien villains, such as, "Oh, turn back or be destroyed." Like, for real, those aren't even that menacing. I wanted to see some more involvement from a villain with the story. Perhaps more dialogue and banter that would make him more menacing, because this villain does have potential to be menacing. His appearance and, well, I don't want to go too much into it in case I spoil some stuff. So anyway, all in all, Operation Spearbreaker is a fun campaign add-on for Halo Wars 2 that tells a decent, easy-to-follow story from the perspective of ground troops in the form of ODSTs instead of leading UNSC figures. It highlights the impact of the main campaign really well through gameplay, has a few good surprises, and is quite challenging on Legendary. Mainly Mission 1, that is. However, like I said, there was room for improvement, mainly with a villain and the long-term impact of the story. I would personally give this campaign's DLC a 8 out of 10. Some of you will have different opinions, which is fair enough, of course. So now to answer the question here, is the package worth $6? So, if you're looking, of course, let me just get this out of the way, it depends, as much as boring as this answer sounds. But anyway, let me get into detail. So if you're looking for a fun side story experience that expands upon the events of the Battle for the Ark, and adds some neat gameplay features and surprises, can be challenging and features extra bonus objectives and achievements, then you may enjoy this package and you might want to spend the dollars if you want to. If you're looking for a rather rich storyline that has medium to large long-term impacts, crazy twists that we all really love from these Halo campaigns, then I would definitely wait till the Awakening of the Nightmare DLC and skip this DLC unless you really want to buy this anyway. So yeah, that's my review for this. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.